What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. This is your guy, DeMarcus, here with the Beta Project here. Thank you for coming. You can always find us on YouTube at Humble and Focused also. And today is June 11, 2019, and today's video is about moving mountains. And today's quote is from the original doctor, not Dr. J, not Dr. Kevorkian, not even all the other, I had more, I lost them, oh well. But Dr. Seuss. We grew up on. This is where it all started for most of us. It's the doctor we know and started our history and our journey on this. So today's quote is, "Kid, you'll move mountains. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way." All right, let's get this. I'm excited. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, DeMarcus. I'm here for you. So let's talk about yesterday we talked about the diamond and how even the most flawless, the only way to get a flawless diamond is to cut. And whenever a diamond starts off raw, it doesn't look the same way when it comes out, but you got to cut it and chop it and slide it and ship it and all this other stuff and sand it down to make what we call a perfection. And that's just like you. So you got to go through some things to become that flawless diamond, okay? So today is about moving the mountain, and it actually stems from, and thank you, Marlene Trice, for getting me back in this book. It's this book, Oh, the Places You Will Go by Dr. Seuss. Ironically enough, this is a kid's book, but is it? And the reason I say is it is because it's only a kid's book because we read this book as children and because it has cartoons in it. But in all reality, this book has a lot in it that if you can hear it and you can find it, then you'll realize there's some powerhouses in there, and it's telling you a lot. Maybe I might get into it and read something out of it, but I have a feeling that might be another video another time. But in the video, they talk about moving mountains, and that's kind of where that quote came from. And in the book, he had a picture that looked like this. So that's the book he saw. And what that is that's basically this young man in the video or in the book. If you see him down here in the bottom right corner, he's moving a mountain. And you see all the contraptions at the bottom of the mountain that he's moving, utilizing to move this mountain. He's just pulling it with his weight. And the reason that I actually wanted to do this video is because I read this book before as a child. I read this book before in Marlene's house. I read this book before when I bought it. And then I read it again. And when I read it this time, I noticed something different. And I want to know if you noticed something different. What I noticed is that on this mountain that this young man is moving, there is houses and villages and churches, animals, and all these other things on this particular mountain. So what I got from that, ladies and gentlemen, is that as we move our mountains and as we create our they say faith moves mountains. As we're moving our mountains, we got these mountains that we're moving. Other people who live on the mountain, who are a part of the mountain, will also be moved. In other words, you're going to be affecting someone when you start moving your mountains. When you start taking your time and you start pushing forward and utilizing all the splendiferousness of yourself, and you start moving mountains, others will be affected. Now, let me look at it again. You see all kinds of homes and things on top of this mountain. And by him moving it, he is taking them to a new place. They will no longer be in the same destination as when they started because of the movement that this one young man is going into. With all his might, he's moving this huge, astronomical piece of rock, and he's moving into another location. And by doing that, he's going to take others with him. And that's your life, ladies and gentlemen. You have the ability to change others' lives with the mountains you're about to move. With the mountains that are created, whether they're around you or whether you're in it or not, you get a chance to take that and move others with you. He doesn't, if you notice, he's moving, but so is everybody else on this mountain, whether they like it or not, they're coming with them. Some people will come with you whether they know that they're coming with you or not. So that's the biggest part I want to get to this, is that as we move our mountains, others will be moved by us. Whether it be internally, whether it be actually physically moved, people will follow you and do as you do. And do as you are, and you're blazing a trail, and people will follow in that trail. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this. How about this? Here's the next one. This one I really like. So we talk about moving your mountains, but ladies and gentlemen, we also have to remember that the doubt that we have is also moving mountains. The doubt is creating them. So your faith can move the mountains, as we saw this young man. If you look at this video or look at the picture again, he's down there at the bottom right, and he's just pulling. He believes he can pull, so he's pulling. If he didn't believe he could do it, he wouldn't be right there. I guarantee you. Because the average person, if they don't believe they can do something, they just don't do it. But here it is. Your faith can move mountains, but your doubt can create them. The reason I wanted to bring this up, because we're talking about mountains, we might as well go in all entirety, in its whole entirety, is that what we put in front of ourselves, it's like we put obstacles in front of ourselves before we walk. So imagine walking down the street and you're taking, and I think I've used this analogy before, you're walking down the street and you take and put in front of you a track hurdle for you to jump over. And then you get another one. Actually, you get the same one. You just keep putting it in front of you, jump over it, and you put it in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, often it is our doubts and ourselves. We are getting in our own way. And so sometimes the mountains that we have to move that are going to move others is actually a self-created mountain. Look at the quote. A mountain that we created. We created the mountain and we have to get over it. We just didn't realize it was a mountain at the time. See, the thing is, you don't recognize, sometimes if you're born on the mountain and you've never left the mountain, you don't realize it's a mountain until you leave the mountain and you see how big the mountain was. So if you're on the mountain still, all you know is it's rocky terrain. But you don't realize it's a mountain until you're 40, 50, 60 miles away and you're like, wait a second, that's what I was living on. That's how you figure out where you are. Take stock in who you are. You can't move the mountain by being on top of it. You have to move the mountain from the bottom. All right, so your faith can move mountains, but your doubt can create it. So keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, what you think, what you believe, who you are, and how you act consistently can create mountains that you will have to, one way, shape, or form, move if you want something more. There was a quote I saw online that was beautiful. It says, the mountain might be huge, but it can never block out the sun. And that's so true. Like, you can have your mountain to you that you created, this big old mountain in front of you, because it might just be the biggest thing you've ever seen, but it never blocks out the sun, which means, one, it can shine on you. The light can shine on you, and the light behind it can still shine. And two, your mountain might be big, but it's not everything. You know what I mean? So your faith can move mountains, that your doubt can create them. So don't let your doubt create them. And then the last quote we're going to go into, which I really like, is that you have been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. Ironically enough, this is exactly what's going on. This guy, and I know you guys don't understand, maybe you understand, this picture right here, this is the mountain he's been assigned. And by him moving this mountain, just even in this book alone, is going to inspire some children or inspire some adults like me and Marlene and some other people to step up and move our mountains. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the mountain that we have, we're moving it because we are able to do so. We have the opportunity and the chance to move a mountain. We can do something somebody else can't. We have something in us that's special. Whether we created the mountain or not, we have the mountain to move. And once we move the mountain that's assigned to us, ladies and gentlemen, who knows? You might save someone's life. You might change someone's life. I had someone tell me the other day, just as simple as giving them an invite to what we were doing. They told me, thank you so much. That he'd never been in a situation like that where he felt like he had mentors that were right there for him, because we care for people when we get to around them, right? But my mountain is to help others, and I can do that. But if I decide not to help anyone, then my mountain is not moved, and therefore someone else can be blocked. I love what E.T. Eric Thomas says. He says, some people's lives are in the position they are because you haven't reached your greatness yet. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's my mountain to move. I've got to stand up and take stock in who I am so I can understand what my mountain is and where I can move it. And if I can do that, then the world can change. Because I'm not going to be the only one moving my mountain. Because as you move your mountain, you can inspire others to move their mountains. And as others move their mountains, all of a sudden you've got mountains moving. You've just changed the landscape of the world. You get what I'm saying? Imagine if you can move the Rocky Mountains to a different location. And also you can move the Appalachian Mountains to a different location. And you can move out Mount Everest to a different location. And you can bring them all together or take them all apart. You've completely changed the landscape of what the world is known by today. And they can't navigate the world the exact same because it's no longer in the place it was. So ladies and gentlemen, take stock in who you are and understand that your mountains can be moved if you want them to. Your mountains can be moved if you believe, and you have been assigned to move the mountain. Unfortunately, if you die without moving your mountain, that just gets passed on to somebody else. I was watching, who was I watching? It was one of the, online, Transformation Church. He was talking about how, I think it was Saul. Saul was destined to do some great things, to be king. And at first, but Saul got dismissed by God because Saul didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't want to move his mountain the way God told him to. So Saul got dismissed, and therefore David stepped up. And David stepped up in the way he was supposed to. And he moved, Saul didn't move his mountain like he was supposed to, so David did it instead. But the mountain will be moved one way or the other, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is, the task has been given to you. Now, will you step up and will you take heed of your rope? Will you be just like this young man right here? Oh, wait, sorry, this young man right here. And will you be just like him and reach out for that rope and pull and not worry about that your arms are tired, that your legs are tired, that you're hungry, that you're tired. No, you're not worried about the fact that, nobody's pulling. Now, this is what I love about this, ladies and gentlemen. Also, nobody's helping him pull. Nobody's even around him, but he's still going on his journey. Why is that such a big deal? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you go on your journey, you're going to have to go alone, whether you like it or not, because it is your journey. Now, you will meet people along the way to kind of fill out your circle, because we are a people of community. We are people of interaction. But in all reality, it is you who moves your mountain, and you may have to do it alone. Martin Luther King, and not everybody got shot when Martin Luther King got shot. But there was a lot of people moving mountains with him. But it was his mountain to move, if that makes any sense to you. And that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't deny your mountain. It's time to get moving. It is your mountain to move. And I want to do this one more time. Kid, you'll move mountains. Today is your day. Your mountain is moving, or your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. And here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Your mountain can't move without you. It will sit there and it will stand until somebody picks up that rope to pull. That is your mountain to move. So I'm asking you to do one thing. Step up, grab the rope, and move your mountain. And I believe and I love in each and every single one of you. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being here. And I hope you have a blessed day and night. And let's go Blues. We're going to win it tomorrow. Because guess what? You're going to move a mountain for the city. Great example. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.